Grab your joysticks and frost your tips because this is the Third Wheel Arcade episode 15. 15.
34?
34.
Got time for jokes.
We are live. Yeah, episode we ain't got time for jokes. That's what Dan wrote in the Google Doc. And if I read everything that Dan wrote in the Google Doc, it's going to be an interesting episode.
Yes.
Amen. And
Amen.
We are live sometimes on Thursday, sometimes on Friday, sometimes every week, sometimes every other week. All you need to do is subscribe and hit the little bell button, and you'll know when we're live. Unlike everybody else who's not in the chat right now, suckers. Actually, is anybody in the chat right now?
Yeah.
Hold on. Was it? Oh,
I'm in the chat.
Oh, hi, Rada. Rada's a friend of mine. So
hey,
she doesn't like video games. We need to tell her what video games to play.
That's good because we're not even going to talk about video games.
We might not. We might not.
It's going to be mostly hardcore prayer and then also math.
Yeah, math and Russian. She's Russian, so. So anyway, we're live sometimes. This is Third Wheel Arcade. We do video game stuff sometimes. Joined as always by the beautiful Dan Rodriguez.
That's all I got to say.
And once again, founder of the gaming perspective. All of your gaming perspectives go through Nicholas Downey.
Hey, you know what? I even took on Ains's role. I am wearing a cutoff shirt right now. I do not have any sleeves on this shirt.
What the hell? Where's your fucking camera?
Yeah, if you're going to be half naked, you can't be on camera.
That's really in the contract somewhere.
Yeah.
That we signed.
There was a contract? Oh, is that thing Diego's like, hey, just write your name here. Don't say anything.
Yeah, just just look at it and laugh.
And send nudes.
Yeah.
So we're here. Life is crazy busy for all of us. So it's going to be really interesting to see what hot video game takes we have on a week where a whole lot didn't happen. And a whole lot of gaming didn't happen. So let's see how it goes. Dan, what have you been playing when you can?
Only The Division. No, that's not true. I've been playing a lot of The Division. A lot. Like an unhealthy amount of The Division.
Have you reached the point where it's too much yet?
No. I want to get to a certain point. It's just they keep adding stuff and it's great.
Yeah.
But man, I just want them to stop for just a minute and just say, hey, we can really anthem this up a little bit if we really needed to. But they don't do it. They just keep doing good stuff, and I don't understand it. But, I'm addicted. I'll probably go play right after this. And I'm really not even doing anything. Literally, I log in. I run around to settlements that are open, loot them. Maybe I do a couple little missions, and then maybe I jump to MLB The Show 19 for a little while, which is fun.
Have you been enjoying that? What are you playing in that? What mode?
I am whatever the player game is. What is that? The Road to the Show? Is that what it is?
Yeah, where you make your own player.
Yeah. So I made myself also maybe a little thinner. I am in real life, but I feel like a fat dude on the mound would, who was that one guy that used to pitch for like the Cubs and?
Are you
God, who's that fat fuck?
How long ago?
I don't know, about 10 years ago.
I think there's a guy who still pitches for the Mets. He's been around for
Polo Cologne. I know him.
Yeah.
I'm probably about that size. No, I'm not. He's huge.
He's huge. Have you seen him run? God, it's fun.
No, it's hilarious. And he's like 80. So,
he is.
But yeah, I mean, it's not a good look. So I want a little bit slimmer. No offense to fat people, because I'm fat also. So I've been playing Yoshi's Crafted World, which sounds really weird.
What, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know this about you.
Yeah, it's the different side. It's more the LARPing side of me that likes to dabble in these crazy, stupid Nintendo Switch games. But it's fun. It's all right. It's average.
It looks way, way, way too easy for me.
It looks really, it's really easy. It's pretty simple.
Like kind of like Lego game where after you play a few levels, you're like, okay, that was fun, but I think I'm done playing now.
Yes. That's pretty much it. It's pretty boring. And I started some Gang Beasts. So Nick, we need to play some because the game is so stupid.
Oh,
And I can't figure out like what the hell I'm doing. I keep it's like, hey, press this to headbutt, press this to kick, but people just keep throwing me in a fire. I don't understand what's happening. So I need to play some multiplayer and really get my shit on, my groove. Or shit.
Have you played online at all?
No, not one bit. And I was trying to do like just practice modes. Like I think it's like the wave mode, but it keeps putting me in the same fucking spot every time. So I'm like, well, this sucks because I start and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try some moves. Next thing I know, these two guys are up there and they're dragging me down the stairs and throwing me in the damn incinerator every fucking time. I'm like, what the hell, man? Why can't I grab you? I'm like trying to grab on shit. I don't even know what I'm doing. It's the dumbest thing, but it's so much fun to be thrown into a fire. So,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've been playing.
So Gang Beasts is a really fun game to play with other people. I can't imagine it being a fun game alone.
Maybe not.
With other people, it's fantastic. But I also haven't played it online. I've only played it around like couch co-op.
Right. My kids play it a lot on couch co-op. And so I just wanted to get the move set down. So I had an idea of what I was doing, but it really doesn't lend itself to it. It doesn't really tell you how to do anything. I don't even know if there's like a place where in the options that show you the controls. So I had to look it up online to see what the hell I was doing, and I still don't understand what I was doing. So I just need to get on there with somebody and just have them beat the shit out of me, and then my mistakes. That's the only way you learn.
I think I'd be willing to get that game just to play it online with you guys. I said that about the Anthem too, though, and we haven't played it in a month and a half.
It was a huge mistake, I think, on everybody's part. Nobody could have saw that coming except for Ains. He saw it coming. He might be the only person.
And Nick, I feel like, did call that.
He might have called it too. Yeah, Nick, you called it too.
I vaguely remember saying that Anthem would be a quote-unquote burning dumpster fire. I didn't think it would be a burning dumpster fire for this long, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. I think I had the hype blinders on. And part of me, I mean, it still makes me super sad every time I think about it. Because I see, sometimes in our DMs, it's like, hey, look at this, Reddit thread on how shitty Anthem is again. And they keep fucking shit up. I'm like, what are you doing? Like the latest thing Ains showed us, I think, was they took a logo and like cropped it and then turned it 180 degrees and called it a different logo or some kind of badge or something. I was like, what are you guys doing? And then I read like the Division update and it's like, here's what we're doing. Da 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 da. Also, I know you guys want this, but you're wrong because we're the developers and we know what's best. And then everybody's like, yeah, you're probably right. I don't know how they're doing it. I mean, you could read that thing and just be like, hey.
Well, look at it this way. The Anthem still doesn't have any expansions or any added content or anything really added to it. And the Division 2 is endlessly rolling out content to the point where I haven't had as much time to play it. I'm sitting there going, crap, I got to get to endgame so that I can then play all this bonus content. Damn it.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah, well.
It's a weird dichotomy.
I don't know. So we haven't done a show since it came out, but did you guys read Jason Schreier's article about the development of Anthem?
Yeah, it's a shit show.
That was I love everything Jason Schreier does.
I hate that guy.
You hate him?
I really don't like him. I think he's an excellent journalist. I also think he's a fucking penisy bastard who loves him some him. So
yes, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't, I don't like cocky ass bitches. So
I don't follow him on Twitter for that reason.
I blocked him actually.
Well, you blocked him?
I think he's a bitch.
I think his writing though is so good, and he
that I agree with.
His in-depth analysis of the situation was very telling of why that game is the way it is, and like they didn't even know what the game was supposed to really be until after a side team made the demo for E3. Like that was mostly CG.
Perfect. Shoot me.
Yeah. If only anyone had known this was coming.
Yeah.
Nick, what have you been playing?
Gang Beasts.
Gang Beasts. Me and my friends were going to stream Gang Beasts on Friday night, and basically the challenge is to see how fast I get banned off Twitch, because I play with my friends for about 45 minutes, and the amount of inappropriate shenanigans that went on, just not okay. Just not okay.
Wait, who did you play with? I missed this.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I was playing with a bunch of my close real life friends. They all bought it, so that's why I bought it initially. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And what eventually ended up happening was I somehow ended up in a scenario where I got put into a corner and kept getting repeatedly knocked out, and then getting dry humped by my friends
in the face.
In the face.
Oh, that's great.
And then every time my character regained consciousness, I'd start trying to jump and get away. One of them would jump and headbutt me and knock me unconscious again. And then
dry hump your face again?
Yeah, and then they just would all grab my body and just dry hump me into oblivion. And that was the whole round, basically, was me getting dry humped into oblivion. So It's safe to say I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Out of context, that was an insane story. And in context, that was an insane story.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Oh, I can't wait for someone to clip that and take that out of context. Yeah, I've been playing that. A little bit of Kingdom Come Deliverance. Just because I like to challenge myself for no particular reason when I'm super busy. Stardew Valley on the Vita to unwind before bed, kind of relaxing. And every time I go click on Anthem, I end up clicking on the Division 2 when I have time. So,
God, it makes me sad.
Yeah. I think
this podcast is over.
Yeah. All right. So what have I been playing? Oh, Dan's pouring one out for Anthem. You can probably pour one out for BioWare as a whole, because
pretty much.
I don't think this is going to last much longer.
No.
Anyway. I have been playing not a whole lot. Life has been crazy. So I got Stardew Valley on Switch a couple weeks ago because I found someone selling a code for super cheap. I got it for like $5 for Switch. And I thought this would be fun to play with my daughter or whoever. I know that it has multiplayer now. You can't play multiplayer on the same Switch. So that ruined all that. So I started playing that because life has been crazy stressful. And work is stressful, home is stressful, everything is stressful. So sitting down and playing the Division after that is exhausting. So I started playing Stardew Valley, and I played that for a few nights. And I played through it on PS4. I played through it on Vita. And now I'm playing through it again on Switch. So I got through year one, and I kind of went, all right, why am I doing this again? There's so much other stuff I could be doing. So I went back to Hollow Knight on the Switch. And I played that for about, I wouldn't say even half, but maybe a quarter of the game on PS4. And I got taken away into something else. So I never finished it. But now on Switch, that really is kind of the perfect place to play that game, because you can just kind of pick it up and get through an area and slash around for a little bit. I love that game so much. Nice. But I also recently got, and I won't talk about it too much, but I got Dangerous Driving. And do you guys know who that's by, or what the story behind that game is at all?
It's supposed to be like Burnout, right?
Yeah.
That's all I know.
It's by, and I don't know the details yet, and I need to figure it out before I write my review, but it's some of the developers who worked on Burnout Revenge, Burnout whatever, Takedown. EA's not making any more Burnout games, obviously, or at least anytime soon. So they left the company and they started their own company, and they're making their own Burnout, basically. They also don't have the funding that EA has, so it's hit and miss.
Sure.
I was really worried. So on day one, I played it, and it was a mess. It was a disaster. The bugs, it was stressful. It was playing the takedown modes is really fun because that's the heart of what Burnout was. But then they also have in time trial modes and just general races where you're not supposed to wreck at all. And the game moves so fast that you can't not wreck. That's the point of Burnout. But if you wreck, once, you completely ruin your whole game. Like it does the 3 seconds ahead, 5 seconds ahead, or whatever. Once you wreck, it's like 24 seconds behind. You're like, all right, well, what do you want me to do? But on day one, it was such a disaster. Like at one point, I was just going around a turn, and my car completely stopped and sunk into the ground, probably halfway, and I couldn't drive anymore because I just lived in the ground now. And it didn't consider that a wreck, so I didn't get to restart or anything. I rubbed up against the wall and went through the wall and started flipping through the sky and up into space. I bumped into a rock on the side of the course, and I just started driving backwards. But
and then somebody dry humped your face.
If only, right?
Oh gosh,
that's the dream. Nick is
yeah, he's living the dream.
Nick's living the dream.
It's some bullshit.
Yeah, but they did have a patch. They had a patch that came out last night that seems to have fixed most of my issues. So I'm enjoying it again. I do think it's best when it's trying to be Burnout and worst when it's not Burnout, but it's fun. I was terrified that I was going to have another game that I was like, I don't want to review it. It's not good.
Hey, come on, man. Like Jim Sterling's made a career out of reviewing bad games. So
I know, but that's not my style. I hate it. I hate being just angry. So I'm glad that it's better than it was on night one. Because on night one, I was like so angry that I was angry. Like, no, don't do this to me again. So I was texting Bra like, I'm really sorry. I don't want to hate this game. I don't. But I like it again. So anyway, what else is going on? In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. I lost my damn fucking... Oh, here we go. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Together we pray the act of contrition.
This is not the act of contrition.
I'm not going the rest of it.
Yeah. Very good call.
Sekiro. Nick, you didn't mention Sekiro at all. Have you stopped playing it?
Yeah, temporarily. After, I told Dan, because Dan asked a question on Gaming Perspective, and he was like, is Sekiro the best Souls game if you want to get into it if you've never played it before? And I was like, yes, this is the most accessible title they've ever made. Holy fuck, was I wrong. I think I would rather play like Dark Souls, the original Dark Souls, with a Guitar Hero controller than play Sekiro normally. Like, there's just... The biggest problem is it's a patient man's game. And if anyone knows me, I do not have any patience at all. Like, I have the shortest patience span. Like, I'm sitting there, and Sam and Eric are sitting there in Gaming Perspective chat, slowly walking me through this. They're like, all you gotta do is this, and then back away. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna run straight at it and whack it with a sword and see what happens.
That's my man.
And I keep getting endlessly slaughtered. I've been having fun with what I have played, but it's one of those games where it's like, I know it's gonna be 50 hours, and it's not like it's one of those things where like I could play Persona 5 for 100 hours for the sake of finishing a good story. With Sekiro, it's not getting absorbed in a story. It's I'm going to spend a couple hours getting frustrated with this boss to then beat that boss, feel really good about it, and then walk 5 feet and come into another boss I'm going to get stuck on for another period of time. And like that's fun for a lot of people, and I get why people have fun with those style of games, but I find them it's really hard for me to continuously play those types of games. Like, it took me a solid year and a half to beat Cuphead because I'd get stuck on a boss and then be like, oh, I can't beat this boss, and I have to beat this boss to get to the next area. So I'd be like, screw it, and I wouldn't play it for 3 months. So I'd come back and beat it on first try and be like, huh. Because like in Cuphead, I got stuck on the dragon for a while because that dragon was an absolute asshole. I got stuck on the robot because that robot was stupid, and then I got stuck on the train. Yeah, I got stuck on the train, and then one night me and my wife were drinking. I'm like, I'm gonna play Cuphead. She's like, oh, you're half in the bag. There's no way you can play Cuphead. I beat the Train. I beat King Dice with no hits, and I beat the Devil with no hits. And I was like, yes, drunk me is better at video games.
That was the key the whole time. I don't drink, so I'm screwed.
Also, maybe it helped going into it angry. I'm gonna go play Cuphead.
Yeah.
Like you started at that plane, so it wasn't really that you didn't elevate. I had this kind of the same thing happen where I got stuck on King Dice and stopped playing, and then got distracted, and then was like, I can't possibly just go back and start playing King Dice because I'm rusty. Like there's no way. And then I, like a year later, went back and played King Dice, and I couldn't beat him before, and I beat him with no hits. So it's weird.
Sometimes I feel like if you bang your head repeatedly off a boss, you'll never get that progress. Sometimes you need to it's like any challenge in life almost. You need to take a step back, reevaluate, come back, and then you're like, oh.
Get a bunch of dry hump into your face.
Yeah, exactly. Dan's future when me and him play Gang Beasts.
Yeah. Yep. I'm changing the title of this episode to Dry Hump into your face.
Yep. I think I should.
Yep.
I should bring in the views.
But it's funny because I've heard people say that, Nick, is when Sekiro first came out, I don't remember who I saw say it, but somebody said, everyone's talking about how much more accessible Sekiro is. Just wait until they find out that it's the hardest one.
Right. So yeah, basically they only got into like the title screen, and they're like, yeah, you can totally press A way easier to start the game than Dark Souls, any of them, and Bloodborne combined.
Well, see, the biggest thing with what made people think Sekiro was going to be easier was they washed a lot of the RPG elements. Like there's no levels, there's a skill tree that you can learn skills and stuff that are helpful, but there's no RPG elements. Like you couldn't not get past a boss because you screwed up a character build or you didn't do the right skill points set up for your play style or something like that. That was a barrier that Dark Souls always had and Bloodborne had. And they didn't have that anymore. This is an action game. This is like Devil May Cry, technically. It's got a skill tree, it's skill points. Everyone's like, this has to be easier. Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't. No, it does not.
Yeah, fuck that shit, man. So they sold 2 million copies. You find out today, right? And so I said, people basically don't care about their money. But, that's not being fair. Kind of is. But so the big debate over the last 2 weeks has been accessibility issues, and I think people kind of have the kind of two mindsets. The easy mode for the sake of just being more accessible from I'm not very good at this kind of game, and then the accessibility issue from people with who struggle with a physical disability or something along those lines. So I'm curious what you guys think about, is this something that you think From should just automatically, start including in their games? Should it be up to the developer? Should it, why are people that don't really think this such bitches? Not that, I'm saying that because they are one of the worst group of people I've ever seen on social media in my life. Get good, fuckers. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I have to admit, I kind of
drives me nuts.
Like when people were going after Steven Spohn from Able Gamers and being like, well, why don't you just get good at video games? I physically was like, I don't want to tell people I play video games because I don't want to get associated with these people anymore.
Right. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so. I can't wrap my mind around people who don't want the game to be accessible to more people. I get saying this is the way the game should be played, but Celeste is a difficult fucking game. Celeste is very hard. Celeste also has assist modes that can help people through who are having a hard time with the game. You can literally be completely invincible and play through the whole game. But most people who enjoy the challenge, people like most of the people we know didn't play through it with assist mode on. I put assist mode on after I'd beaten all of the levels, just so I could go back and get a couple extra strawberries. And it's super, super easy. But if you enjoy the challenge, you don't lose anything by having that extra mode in there. And for me, like, I enjoy the fact that I know plenty of people who can't play through Celeste on regular mode. I know most of the people that I know that play games are casual gamers, and it would be completely foreign for them to think they could get through that entire game. But I like to be able to tell them the game is amazing. The story is phenomenal and something to experience. And if you're having a hard time getting through an area, turn on assist mode and just get through it. You're supposed to struggle a little bit. That's part of the story. But dial it down to a level where it's easier for you. You don't even have to turn it, like, it's not even just easy mode. You can just change the sliders a little bit to make, now you've got an extra jump in there. You can do an extra double jump. You can do an extra dash, or you can turn it all the way, to childproof mode, and you bounce off the ground instead of fall through the pits, and you bounce off spikes instead of die. You can literally be invincible. So I don't know why anyone would think that that's a bad thing. I haven't seen anybody say, well, Celeste sucks because it's easier for some people. No, it's a fun game, and it's good, and I don't see why you would be. Now, it's the developer's choice. If FromSoft wants to say, we're not putting that in there, we want this to be difficult for lots of people, then that's fine. If they want it to be less accessible to people and thereby giving them more of a name, that's their prerogative. But for anyone as a fan to sit there and go, no, I'm so mad about this, don't do it, I'll stop playing your games if you put an easy mode in there. Why? Is that because you don't have any self-control and you can't keep yourself from playing on easy? Because it's just, I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. Nick, what do you think? You're probably going to completely disagree with me and tell me that Horizon Zero Dawn sucks.
Well, Horizon Zero Dawn does suck, but that's not part of this conversation because that whole game is in easy mode. But I actually agree with you in terms of, I don't think difficulty options first off take away from a game, because it's idiotic to say that. That'd be like me saying, if you didn't beat Wolfenstein 2 on Mein Leben difficulty, you don't deserve to play Wolfenstein. No one beat it on that difficulty. Right. If you die once, you have to start the whole game over. Mm-hmm. And you're literal, like, you can 2 shots, you're dead. Nobody, I think there's like under 100 people beat that game on Mein Leben difficulty. But you don't see those under 100 people going around telling people that they don't deserve to play Wolfenstein 2 because someone completed it on normal, someone completed it on easy. Like, I'm not going to make fun of someone if they beat a game on lower difficulty than me. And all these people that are screaming about, oh, well, you need to beat on the hardest difficulty. Okay, then I don't want to see you guys playing Uncharted on anything but crushing. I don't want to see you playing Last of Us Part 2 on anything but grounded. Like, it's ridiculous. And the amount of quote unquote gatekeeping with From Software games is ridiculous, because for me, it just feels like angry kids that are my age. Generally, they're like, oh, From Software games they're not even the pinnacle of hard games. You give these kids Ninja Gaiden, they cry like newborn babies. There are millions of games that are harder than From Software games. Go play Contra. That game, just the name makes my blood boil. Like, there are legitimately way harder games. Now, when it comes down to it, I'm going to echo what, I can't remember who the gentleman was that said this, but
it was Alden.
What people are asking for from Sekiro isn't necessarily an easy mode. I think people are misunderstanding what people are asking for. Is they don't necessarily want an easy mode, but in a similar way to Celeste, if you could control certain aspects of the game and adjust them to your specific situation. Like, for example, it was actually the developer Celeste that made the original tweet and was like, things that could help make Sekiro more accessible. And it was like choosing the amount of resurrects you get. You can choose how many times you can resurrect, whether it's once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, infinitely, whatever the case may be. He suggested auto parry. He said one of the most easily ways to make it more accessible to people would be change combat speed. Be able to change it from 100% combat speed to 75 to 50%. And he said, if you really want to, make the game even harder for the people that love the hard aspect of the game, he's like, make it so you can increase it past 100. So you could have like combat at 150% speed or things like that. So if people want to make it harder, they can make it harder. If they want to make it easier for them, it makes them easier. And all these people that are going on about, we need to respect the developers, are the same people that shit on developers on social media 24/7. And this is the first time in their lives they have any interest in defending a developer. And it's only because it's some masochistic love of a game caving in their face and they feel accomplished for completing it. Like,
right.
I get it. It's a hard game. You beat it. It feels great. I understand that feeling. But accessibility doesn't take away from a developer's vision. Like when you're sitting there, I saw this guy made this thread and he was like, if you made Sekiro more accessible, that takes away the fun in the video game. And Corey fucking Barlog replied to it and went, I made accessibility modes in God of War. I made different difficulty modes. There was no trophies tied to difficulties. For like the button mashing sequences, you can change in the options. You could just press and hold for people that have like arthritis in their hands or anything like that. He's like, it didn't compromise his vision at all to give people options.
Right. And there's no reason to say that you couldn't feel just as proud of yourself by going, well, I beat Sekiro, but I beat it on expert mode, or I beat it with no resurrects or whatever. It's kind of sad to see what's happened so quickly with FromSoft games, is in that you had this rabid, passionate fan base, and this happens all the time in all mediums. If you get a rabid fan base for some underground band and they start to get big, all of a sudden the rabid fan base turns toxic. But it's sad to see it happen with these FromSoft games so quick. I feel like in just 2 or 3 years, we've gone from these fans going, come on, everybody, come play Bloodborne, come play Dark Souls. And now all of a sudden they're going, well, get out of my games. Don't come over here and play Sekiro because you don't deserve to. And that's not fair to the developers, and it's not fair to the games.
Yeah. It's not fair to the fan base to project the developer's wishes onto the fan base either. Like the developer openly said the idea behind From Software games isn't that it's not supposed to be like something you kill yourself on. The difficulty is not supposed to be there. But the idea is that every time you complete a task or you complete a quest, you get an overwhelming sense of accomplishment. And He says at this time, the only way he can convey that is by giving you difficult bosses to face. And then by beating those, you get that uplifting feeling. He said if he could figure out a different way to do that, he would. And like there's so much more to these games than the difficulty. Like to me, Sekiro is the first From Software game that has a really intense story that I'm super interested in completing. And I will eventually beat this game because I want to see the story pan out. But it's not necessarily locked behind it. But I couldn't imagine if I wasn't physically able to beat this game and not being able to get to the ending. It would just, I don't know, it just suck.
Yeah.
I
don't have the time, man. That's the biggest thing for me is there's so many games to play anyway, right? There's so many things coming out almost every day, and you want to fucking. I could probably finish a game. To be honest with you, I'd probably go back and play Dark Souls, but I'd have to invest so much time in it, and I just don't have it. That guy, what's his name? The Hideka. So I got this quote. It says, "Ever since Demon Souls, I've been pursuing making games that give players a sense of accomplishment, like Nick said, by overcoming tremendous odds." All right. And so, one of our friends, sent that to me, like a screen cap of it. So I replied, "I tied my own fucking shoe today and didn't get winded. Make that a game, you bitch." So, I mean, I don't give a shit. I mean, I can accomplish things, like tying my shoe without losing my breath. That's great. But, I have time to do that because I don't want to trip and fall over my fucking shoes. Anyway, time invested into these games, the amount needed for people that aren't very good or are a little bit older or whose eyesight is fucking shitty now because they didn't eat enough carrots growing up. Whatever,
Starting to get right here, Dan. You can't talk about him like that.
Yeah. I was about to say, this is starting to feel real personal.
No, it's totally me. But you know what? I mean, but you said, Alvin, you can't really, I'm not trying to tell a developer how to make their game. If that's what they want to do, fine. But that 2 million, I bet you could have been 4 million if they, maybe put in a little bit of a easier mode or, focus a little bit more on a good story or something like that. But that's every game, and these people that are gatekeeping, like Nick said, they can go suck a dick. That's basically all I can say about those fucks. I mean, stop. That's what you have to hold on to. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, it's like Alden talked about, it's like how welcoming the community was back in the day versus now. There was a gentleman on Reddit who was posting screenshots of Reddit back when Demon Souls came out. And it was all these people coming together going, how can we beat this boss? And all these people being like, oh, we need to get more people on this Reddit thread so we can figure this out. And it was like showing a progression of the From Software fan base on Reddit. And it was showing how, like, up till Bloodborne, they were just like, oh, you want to get into From Software games? Oh, yeah, come on. Here, this is how you start. Here's a great character build to start if you're new. We want you. And now, all of a sudden, here we are. And if you even ask a question about Sekiro, it's like, oh, well, you just fucking suck. Why are you even playing it? It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely a bummer. And I echo what Dan said, too, is I could play through these games, and I haven't, just because of the time investment that comes along with them. I got a few or several hours into Bloodborne, and it was just like, okay, I could keep going, but it's just the amount of time I would have to take to get good at this game. But at this point, I'm watching the Sekiro fans, and I'm going, I don't know if I want to be involved in this group, And that sucks. That sucks for the game, and it sucks for the developers, and it sucks for the fans who care about the community.
Yep.
But
yep.
I think we've said all we can on Sekiro until one of us finishes it, and it's not going to be me.
I even bought the damn thing, and I buy everything.
I was gonna say, you guys are gonna have to bring Ains on because he's way ahead of me.
Yeah, he's working on it. He's hoping to get that shit done, but it's funny reading his comments almost every day, like in our little group chat. And he's like, "Yep, fucking did this, then it fucked me in the ass." It's like a repeated thing, like every single day. But,
see, I had a laugh with it because Sam was doing our review because he was like, oh, you can either review Days Gone or Sekiro. I'm like, well, if you want the Sekiro review to go out this year, don't let me do it.
Yeah.
So he took it on, and so he bought it at launch, and he was playing it and playing it and playing it and playing it, and he got to the end boss way faster than I could ever have imagined, and he went, man. He's like, this is probably the hardest video game boss I've ever played. I'm like, well, I'm just uninstalling the game now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, there's part of me that still will go through games on the hardest difficulty, but depends on the game. And typically, third-person action games are not my shtick. They're not my go-to. Give me an FPS game, I'll play it on the hardest difficulty, no problem.
Oh, God, not me.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I'm more of a third-person dude.
I am a 2D side scroller all the way.
We're all different, but we're all the same.
Isn't this gaming unity?
Aww.
Speaking of gaming unity, Dan wants to talk about how much Microsoft sucks. So
yes, no, I don't. I just listen. So today, Microsoft's Mike Nichols, he's a chief something officer. I can't remember what the hell it is. Marketing, maybe. Says so. Stadia lacks the
Stadia.
Stadia. How do you say it?
I think it's Stadia, but I like Stadia.
I like Stadia.
Stadia.
Stadia. It's fucking exotic.
It is. I might get one now.
Yep. Now I'm buying it.
I might get one of them consoles.
Right. So he comes out today and get me my Stadia. Stadia.
No, Stadia. Stadia is it. That is
I've never actually heard anybody actually say the word, so I've only read it.
Mm.
Okay. Did they say Stadia?
They
say Stadia.
I thought they said
fuck you.
I love Stadia. That's what we're doing now. Don't get all FromSoft game fan on me.
Stadia. You gotta say Stadia. You don't deserve it.
Oh my god.
All right, whatever. I don't know. All right, Microsoft. Mike Nichols, Chief Marketing Officer, I think, comes out, says Stadia lacks content. Stadia. This is fucking. I don't even know what the hell's going on. Anyway, what a bunch of bullshit kind of statement is that? First of all, it's Google. All right. Listen, I'm not defending Stadia at all. But
I am.
For Microsoft to come out and say that kind of shit when literally this entire generation has been about lack of content, and that's, I'm not saying that they don't have the third-party stuff. There's some of the indies and stuff like that. But what makes them think for a second that Google couldn't just throw out a shitload of money, a la Epic Games, and just fucking get whatever the fuck they want? I know they've got one studio in-house, it looks like, that is, probably years away from making an actual video game. But, they've got Assassin's Creed, so they've got some kind of in with Ubisoft. I mean, they haven't really said anything yet. But that doesn't necessarily mean lack of content to me. And also, I think it's, like the pot calling the kettle black. So that kind of shit just doesn't need to be said. I really don't know why I put it in there. I think I just saw it, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. So, I mean, I'm not a Microsoft hater. I'm not a PlayStation hater. I love everything. I just fucking shut the fuck up. Shut up and just give it a chance. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm going to be playing this shit. I probably won't be because it sounds terrible. But, don't come out and make these stupid ass accusations when you have literally nothing to go on except for, everything to go on, actually.
I can't wait to promote this episode by saying Dan Rodriguez said Microsoft sucks, quote, shut the fuck up. And I feel like we'll have more viewers than we've ever had.
You should. Yeah, because everybody cares what Dan Rodriguez thinks. Check out this clickbaity ass title.
Exactly.
As long as Xbox sucks, everything is right with the world. That's all you need to know. Yeah. Actually, right now, Bra brought it up in the group chat. I started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, PlayStation sucks, Xbox sucks, but Nintendo Switch. Oh,
yeah, that's what Bra was saying in the chat. He runs a PlayStation website, and he's noticed that a lot of the feelings towards PlayStation have dimmed. A lot of people are less excited about PlayStation right now. There's a lot more hate going towards PlayStation when you talk about crossplay and you talk about their name changes and you talk about their future and what games they have planned. Everyone's talking shit about Sony right now, but that hasn't translated into more people jumping ship and saying, Microsoft, that's right, Xbox is the best. It hasn't. All of a sudden, everyone's going, the Switch is awesome in the background, and it's really strange.
It's super weird.
Well, did you guys see the whole blow up this morning with PlayStation Lifestyles article?
No.
What happened?
So Sucker Punch Studios posted for new job postings, and they're looking for narrative and story designers for Ghost of Tsushima.
Wow.
And people were like, but this game's coming out this year.
Really?
No, it's not.
Right, they never said that.
I never saying that. And then today as well, Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann posted saying that they just finished up doing a really brutal motion cap section for the game.
Right, I saw that.
And people are sitting there going, "These games are coming in 2019." No, stop. I think if you look at those three games, that's at its core of where the PlayStation hatred is coming from right now. Because there's no information about these games right now. I don't mind because I know eventually they're going to come out and I'm going to love them. So I really don't care how long it takes.
Right.
But I get this constant sense of anger from the PlayStation fan base. All you have to do is look up the dislike ratio on that PlayStation Live event.
Oh yeah.
Like it was like 1,000 to 12,000 likes to dislikes. Like people were so angry because they're like, oh, well, all they're doing is showing PlayStation VR stuff. And then on one hand, you're like, yeah, they showed was PlayStation VR stuff. But if they didn't show any PSVR stuff, you'd be like, oh, look, the PSVR is another Vita. Blah, blah. PlayStation's in this terrible situation, and it's not even necessarily their fault, is that there's no way they can live up to the expectations that 2018 delivered.
Nope.
Right. And 2017 and 16, they had 3 really amazing years. And now they're kind of in a lull because that's what happens after you put out all your shit. Like, what do you expect? Just it to keep rolling? They have to make more.
Well, and this is the biggest thing is what people seem to think is that you can kick out a game in 2 years if you have the time. But what people aren't realizing is like Naughty Dog takes a notoriously longer time to get a game out.
Yeah.
Anyone who's sitting there going, oh, well, The Last of Us Part 2 was shown in 2016, so that means it has to be ready by now. No, I think they showed that game a little too early because they wanted to make people – it was one of those things of it was shown at PSX. It was for the fans. We are doing a sequel to The Last of Us. Be excited that we are continuing this story, but it's in the works. And I think people are just taking what should be fan service and just getting upset about it. And is really having like a quote unquote dry year that bad of a thing when there's still so many good games coming out? Like, I don't know where I'm going to have the time to play Days Gone right now. And everyone's like, oh, it's such a dry year. I'm like, oof, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the anger because it's like, I look at developers like I look at music artists in the terms of it'll come out when it's ready to come out. And I trust them to take the time they need, because if you don't trust the developer with the time they deserve, you get things like Anthem, where the publisher rushes the game out because they want to impress stockholders. And if anything, people need to give PlayStation, and particularly Sean Layden, credit for the fact that they don't rush anything out. They will take the negative PR of saying this isn't ready, and they'll take those blows over releasing something that's half-baked just to get it out the door.
Right.
I agree. And I've been saying for a while that I felt like the right thing to do in this current generation would be to stop announcing things so early, and stop announcing dates so early, because inevitably you get down to release day and the date gets moved. I mean, it was happening all the time. It happened on like every PlayStation exclusive for 3 or 4 years. And it seems like my idea didn't work out too well, because now everyone's just mad because they didn't announce dates, so they assume they're coming out next week. It's insane that people have come up with these ideas. When Death Stranding was shown, people were like, I think they're pretty far. Like Kojima had left what's it called? Konami.
Reality?
Yeah, that too. He had left Konami not long before that trailer was shown, and people were still going, well, he's using the Guerrilla engine, so I'm pretty sure they'll have it done in about a year. Like, he can't even take a shit in a year. He's got to sit there and like come up with ideas.
That's how he actually comes up with his ideas.
Look, I'll say this, and I've been saying this forever, and everyone called me an idiot for it, because when PlayStation canceled E3, that was when I doubled down and said Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, and Last of Us Part 2 aren't 2019 games, because Sean Layden specifically said we are not going to go to E3 this year and show you the same things.
Right.
Which is fine. Kudos for him for admitting that all their other stuff is next generation and they're not ready to show that off yet. I think what you're going to get is, I think you're going to get a PSX event late 2019 around the time frame they usually do it, and then you'll get dates for all these games, or at least windows in 2020 for these games.
Yeah,
Because they're not. If they didn't have enough to show for E3, what makes you think they wouldn't show up to E3 if The Last of Us Part 2 launched in August?
Right.
Like, they would steal the show if they came out, do a new 15-minute trailer of The Last of Us Part 2 and went, it releases October, blah, 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 blah. People would be insurmountably hyped, and the rest of the show could be garbage as long as that game got a date.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're also showing Iron Man VR too. So, yeah.
But that's just my point. It's like,
right.
Like compared to last year, like you're not going to have every year where you're going to have Marvel's Spider-Man, God of War, and that game by Quantic Dreams that no one should like.
All right. It's a good game.
It was all right. Yeah.
Diego said Kojima's game is going to take a while because he still needs to figure out more ways to put himself into the game. So
that's true. Well, see, here's my thing. Okay, so if exclusives didn't matter, right? I mean, this whole thing would be completely different right now. So with Sony, what they've been doing for the last 3 years is they've been basically putting their foot on the neck of the competition and just constantly releasing, 3 or 4 games a year that are just unbelievably good games and just crushing it. And now they're slowing down a little bit. And, I think people are starting to, but here's the thing, you can do that when you don't have anybody else pushing back, right? So Nintendo, getting back to what we were talking about, they're releasing ports, all right, basically, and these little kiddie games, and they'll probably have a Nintendo Direct next week that announces, the rumored, Metroid Prime Trilogy finally port that I'm going to buy because I love that shit.
Right.
That's the thing.
But it's still a port.
Everybody says, yeah, it's still a port, and nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Absolutely it is, right? You don't want to take your foot off the gas. I think Sony's doing that a little bit right now. However, I think they can afford to because of the last 2 or 3 years they've had. And aside from Nintendo throwing out ports, they really don't have any competition. It's not, Stadia. I mean, I don't even know what that is. Stadia. Seems like a perfume.
Well, that's the thing. Is like everyone's saying they're going, well, PlayStation's not releasing any first-party stuff right now. I'm like, we got Crackdown 3 on Xbox.
Right, they knew better. They were like, we're okay for a little bit. We got, and then they throw out, Days Gone here in a couple weeks. It's like, this will satiate most people for a while, and we'll just go back to what we're doing. Next gen's coming too, so they're probably doubling down on that as well. So they've got a plan. I mean, Sony's not stupid; they know how to do it, and I think they've learned from the mistakes they had in the past. And I just hope Microsoft also, come next gen, will competition is good for everybody, right? And we say that all the time. It's super cliched, but it's true. And I just want to see good products from every facet of the hobby. That's what I want to see. Even Nintendo, even if they're ports, and I've played them 3 times in the past, I don't care. I still want to play them again. So
I agree.
Agreed.
Good talk.
Thank you.
Dan, how much work did you put into this Google Doc? You put like pictures in there and everything?
Yeah, I thought, Charlie Murphy laughing right after I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I do what I can.
I don't even know how to do that. Like
it's a little plus button that says add image. Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Should have made it sound a lot harder. I would have thought that you were like the gatekeeper of difficult Google Docs.
It was probably an accident. I think I hit something and I was like, oh, look at that. I can put a picture in there. So, yay.
So moving on, which is actually what Dan wrote there. Is the Division 2 that good, or does everyone else just suck? And I'm going to read this whole thing because it's fantastic. Sorry, Dan. Sometimes I feel like you put these things in there and you're like, this will never get read. This one's getting read. Is the Division 2 that good, or does everything else just suck? For example, if I stand next to a few other dudes that are just a little fatter than me, I look less fat. It's science, Nick. Ask Sam.
Yeah. So that's true. So we got basically, Diablo 3 started it, then Destiny. We talked about this before. Then Anthem comes out, 2 to 3 weeks prior to the release of Division 2, and they all suck ass at launch, and they all have these problems. Anthem, takes the cake in my unfortunate opinion. And then Division 2 comes out and goes, "Hey, look at us," and like just swinging it, just like whoa, like just whips it out, and just like this is an ARPG.
Dry humps you in the face.
Hey, ladies, check this shit out, and everybody's just like, oh, and then and they keep doing it though. It's not like they're just stopping. It's like they've got this endurance of like a fucking breeded stallion or something. I don't know. And they just keep nailing you, and they're like, hey, you know what? You want that? Nope, you're wrong. Boom. I'm going to do this and do this and do this and do this and do this. Here's a giant fucking document of all the stuff that we're planning on doing, the stuff that you want that we, think that you're wrong about, but we'll play with it just to pretend like you guys are right, because you're not really developers. Okay, this is kind of wrong. We'll fix that, but it's going to take a little while. They're so open about it, and they just keep telling you all this stuff, and they keep fixing stuff with and they have content, a shitload of content, and everything else. But there's such a big gap between that and let's just take Anthem, for example. And so I'm not sure that it's because the Division 2 is so good. It's got me second guessing myself. Like, gosh, I played this game. I got like 100 hours into it, but I had 90 hours in Anthem too, in a much shorter period of time. So, I'm not sure what it is 100%. I'm kind of trying to psych myself out a little bit, maybe. I mean, I know it's partially that these other games were so bad that Division 2 didn't have to do very much to, look good. But they did, and they keep piling it on, man. So I don't know.
I think that's a really good observation.
I know.
The Division 2 is a very good game. Is it great? I don't know, because again, we are comparing it. The best thing that ever happened to Division 2 was Anthem. And a year ago, we all thought the exact opposite. Like, we all thought the Division 2 is fucked. Anthem's going to come out and steamroll over everything, and Anthem's coming out first. And then Division 2 comes out a few weeks later. It looked primed to fail, but Anthem came out, stunk up the joint terribly, and Division just had to come out and be better, because the people who wanted that experience weren't getting it from Anthem at all. Even those of us who enjoyed Anthem weren't getting what we wanted out of it. So the Division was able to kind of go in and go, oh yeah, well, we learned from all of our mistakes plus everyone else's mistakes, because they didn't just fix Division 1's mistakes. They fixed Destiny's mistakes. They fixed Destiny's 2's mistakes. They clearly learned from Fortnite as far as like community management goes. You listen to your fans, and then you implement some of their thoughts and ideas. Or at least pretend to. And it's just really impressive what they've done as far as all that goes. Is they're doing they're saying and doing all of the right things. And I think that makes it seem like a much better game than it is. But I don't say that in a negative way. I think it's a very good game. I think you're right in that it's an 8 that looks like a 10 next to everything else.
I think that's probably about right. That's a good way to put it. It's like the Febreze of video games.
Yeah.
After taking the big giant dump. You might I gotta use like a whole fucking can though when I do it. Terrible. It's fucking terrible.
Nick, you got any thoughts?
Yeah. Thoughts.
Well, I was thinking about this because I just finished my Division 2 review. And
while we were talking.
No, I'm not looking before the podcast. And the thing is I can't remember the exact quote from the review, but after reviewing games like Battlefield 5, Fallout 76, Anthem, and everything else, it was just good to download a game, play it. It worked. I could invite my friends. That worked. There was a ton of content. I wasn't waiting for updates. And any minor bugs I had were patched within a day or two.
Yep.
It's so strange because when I started getting into social media gaming was around the time Assassin's Creed Unity came out. And Ubisoft was just getting lambasted. They had Watch Dogs, they had Assassin's Creed Unity, they had the original Division. They had all these games are downgraded, they're awful, they don't work, they're not what the people want. And now Ubisoft has turned this around, and they're probably one of the most beloved devs ever. Between the Division 2 hitting all the right marks on what a quote-unquote looter shooter, or as I like to call them, schlooters, need to hit. There's tons of content in it, and this is Ubisoft's gig. This is an open world game. Ubisoft knows how to fill out an open world. We know it from Far Cry. We know it from Ghost Recon. We know it from... This is their shtick, and they know how to support games post-launch. Look at Rainbow Six Siege. That game's player count's only going up and up and up. And you want to know how they did that? Community feedback. And listening to fans and going, okay, so this is what the fans want. It's exactly what Dan said. This is what the fans want. You guys are stupid. Here's a middle ground that will work.
Exactly. I respect that shit. I'm not a very smart man. So you know what? Do what you got to do, Ubisoft. Massive games. You're great. You're great.
And I sat there and I started thinking about it while I was playing Division 2, and I was like, wow, I actually have like 80 hours in Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh yeah, great game.
I've played tons of Assassin's Creed over the years. I've played, like, there's just, I'm sitting there going, holy crap, I play a ton of Ubisoft games without realizing it. Because they're just games you pick up, you play with your friends, they're immersive, but they're fun. And it's just, I don't know, it's weird. But I think Anthem sucking as hard as it did definitely gave the Division 2 a great launch pad, and they definitely didn't bobble it in terms of PR either. They're like, hey, you tired of all that janky stuff? You want to change your loadout without a loading screen? Come on down. Like, it's just, it is what it is. I agree to an extent that Anthem sucking definitely played a part in the Division 2 success, but at its core, the Division 2 is just a really good, well thought out game that learned from its predecessor's mistakes.
Yeah, and there aren't really many negatives to speak of for the game. Even if it's not your cup of tea, you can't really sit here and talk about why it's bad. It's not a bad game, even if you hate it. Like, you can't even lie about it. It's a good game, no matter what. Even if you hate online schlooters or you hate any kind of shooter, you can recognize the fact that it's a really good, solid game with loads and loads and loads of content that oftentimes feels different. Or at least you're doing something different.
Agreed.
Yep.
Well, you know what? It's getting that time.
You hungry?
You know what? Oh, yeah, I am hungry. Also, so every week for the last like 3 weeks, not last week, obviously, that we've done this show, I bought a game mostly on Switch, but I'm about to buy a Microsoft one also. Yeah.
What do you get?
They've got their spring sale on, right? So I did buy today for the Switch while we were playing this, called Reigns, Game of Thrones. It was described as Tinder for Game of Thrones on the Switch. So I was like, well, yeah, it's $3. I should definitely buy that because I love Game of Thrones. But it says, I don't know what it is. No idea. But I'm going to play the shit out of it. So right now I'm debating huge spring sale coming out, guys, for Xbox. I've been wanting to play Ace Combat 7. I never bought it for the PS4 like I was going to. So I've got it sitting here for $35. I don't know if I should buy it. I need your advice. Has anybody played it?
I have not.
Okay. You guys are
good
to me.
Do you want to play it? What are you gonna get it on?
Well, it's on sale for $35 on Xbox.
Oh, on Xbox. Okay.
Right.
So you're not getting it for the VR mode.
The VR thing, the problem with the VR thing is that one, it's only like 3. Yeah, that too. It's only like 3 little things. So I just don't remember it being like really highly touted.
No, and
Space Hulk is on sale too.
What is
Space Hulk Tactics? That sounds awesome. I love 40K stuff.
You do.
Like it's a fucking goddamn. It's a huge sale.
Yeah, there's a huge sale. I haven't looked at all the games yet.
I'm literally turning on my Xbox right now. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks a
See,
lot.
I don't know
Dan.
if it's live until tomorrow, but it's on. I mean, it's live, right? But I don't know if they're
This is a
promoting
big
it.
blow. This is like the Springs blowout sale they have.
It's fucking gigantic.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet. I just saw that Wario64 was tweeting a bunch of games out that are on sale on Xbox, and I assumed, he only tweets out a small portion of the sale, so I want to see everything that's on sale.
Oh yeah, there's a huge list.
I do want to get Gang Beasts though, and that's not on sale, is it? I mean, it just came out.
On sale.
Yeah, it was. It was like, yeah,
$15 or whatever on sale, and now it's back up to 20.
Damn it!
Oh, really? God
yeah.
Damn it, Alden. What the fuck?
What did I didn't make it full price.
Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition, $15. If you don't go buy that, you're dead to me. All right.
I own it, but I never played it.
I don't even know how you and Sam are friends. I have no idea.
Whenever
I would have thought he would have just like disowned you.
Whenever the topic of The Witcher comes up, I generally just get death glares.
Oh,
so I was the same way for a long time. I didn't play it until last fall. Like it took a long time for me to get to that game, and then when I did, I was glad that I spent my time with it. And it's an amazing game, and I miss it. Like that world, you just feel like you're living in it. But at the same time, I just saw like all of the other games that I was buying on sale piling up and piling up and piling up. Because that game is so big and immersive. I still haven't played the DLC.
That's what she said. Yep.
I still haven't played what is it, Blood and Wine, the good one?
Yeah, that is a good one, I think. Yes.
I need to. I want to get to that one really bad. It's just when
Resident Evil 2 is on sale.
Damn.
Yeah. So is Overcooked 2. One Piece Burning Blood.
Oh, of course, One Piece Burning Blood.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
It's an anime game.
Oh, it sounds like I'd never play it. So, nope. Don't get that one. Spyro and Thronebreaker. Oh, that one sucks. You know what's on sale now? Toe Jam and Earl.
Is it?
And The Division.
You can see my review for Toe Jam and Earl on the PlayStationBros.com. Didn't like it.
Did not care for it so much.
I think I gave it a 6, but that was just kind of like a, I don't know, 6.
Yep.
Jump Force is $35.99.
Fuck, there's so many games right now.
Sunset Overdrive is $9.99. I still haven't played that.
Yeah, that game is overrated.
Hollow Knight is $8.99.
I've just lost our 3 audience.
Oh, here we go. This is it. Quantic Dreams Collection, $29 on Amazon.
Wait a minute, where are we at here?
I'm on Wario 64's page.
No. Hey Nick, Mafia 3, $10.
I need the season's pass. I beat that game on
$15
Xbox.
for the deluxe edition. I mean,
Soul Calibur 6 is $19.99.
Too much money for that.
Really? I just want to play as 2B.
Yeah, but then you have to pay for that too.
So
yeah.
Okay, so all of it just wants the butt. That we've come.
That's true, but not necessarily in this case.
True. All right.
I love that game so much.
Hey, look, Earthlock's fucking $11.99. That game sucks ass too. God. Was Oxenfree on sale?
Yeah,
so
I'm sure.
Buy a digital copy and then return it.
It's always on sale, and you should buy it and play through it on a stream.
I should. I really should. I mean, I've talked about that before. I think there's a time where it's just going to need to happen.
I'm in the conundrum right now because someone offered me $200 to play all the Quantic Dreams games.
Oh,
that's a good bit of money.
You know what that buys you, Nick? Some stuff for the
podcast, man. And stream them. They're like, I'll pay you $200 if you stream all of them. I'm like, I'll do that probably. So
yes, you should.
And I'm sitting there going, oh god, that means I gotta play Beyond Two Souls. No.
Oh.
Some streamers do worse for less. So I'd say do it
for Coke. Exactly. All right. Well, on that note.
Yeah, I think we're done, so I can go look at this sale.
Yeah.
Dan, anything you'd like to add before we go?
Nope. We got a new BSG coming out tomorrow from Season Gaming. We're doing, I hope, Little Nightmares. Should be fun. Birds playing. I'm working on a couple other videos that will hopefully come out soon that people may or may not like, but I don't give a shit. Never have.
It's part of the charm.
Right on.
Nick?
Me?
Nicholas, anything you'd like to add?
Oh, no. Is this my outro or is this just
your outro?
Yeah, this is your outro. I know you're caught up looking at the Chronic Dream collection longingly, but
I have to buy it somewhere used. I can't give David Cage any of my money.
That's a good
one.
No, people can find me on Twitter if they want. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can follow me on Twitter at Undead3XVI. You can watch my podcast on Saturday nights. The Gaming Perspective live 8 p.m.-ish most Saturday nights.
But not live anymore after this week.
Yeah, this is our last live show.
Be there, people. Be there.
Be there for the party.
Yes. Be there for the party. I'll probably be pissed drunk, so it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to listen to it driving home, blaring on my radio. This is for the kids to hear.
Don't worry, I'll have the Fred Durst hat on backwards. I'll start singing Limp Bizkit in the outro. It'll be great.
Shit.
Hey, what Limp Bizkit are you going to sing? Are you going to sing like old screamy Limp Bizkit, or are you going to sing like Behind Blue Eyes Limp Bizkit?
I can't do the Behind Blue Eyes. It'll have to be like sour era Limp Bizkit.
Okay.
Oh, I know. My only list is a song, so sorry.
I liked the Limp Bizkit's first album when it came out. I liked it, and then they fell apart on me. But to each their own, Nicholas.
If you ever want to fully have a full body cringe, you will need to curl up in a ball and have Tanya pat your head for probably about 10 minutes afterwards. Go look up just type in Limp Bizkit with Lil Wayne. They released a song about 5 years ago.
Are they still together?
Yeah, they got back together for an album like 4 or 5 years ago.
Huh.
Yeah, just go listen to that song and you will physically full body cringe.
Okay, I'm gonna do it and then I'm gonna die. But I think what we need to do now is pit your Limp Bizkit up against something that I love, up against Horizon Zero Dawn, and let's see what Twitter thinks about who the winner is in this scenario.
If Horizon Zero Dawn doesn't win, I'm going to be highly disappointed in the PlayStation community as a whole.
Horizon Zero Dawn versus Limp Bizkit?
Uh-huh.
Is Fred Durst still alive?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Too many of them are dead, but it makes me sad for them, obviously, because it sucks being dead. But, I don't know who's who anymore. I honestly have no idea who is who. So
good point, you old man.
I don't want to say anything. I know. I was just like, is that guy alive still? Because then I was like, holy shit, he's dead. That's usually like my reaction to most things. It's just,
Man is a goddamn national treasure. We need to protect him at all costs.
I agree.
Okay, man. Why are there only fucking 4 goddamn reviews for Ace Combat 7? This is not boding well.
It doesn't look amazing.
It doesn't. It's a 3.8 though. It's not bad. Fun flying game. Thanks, G Magic 5. You fuck. What the fuck kind of shitty review is that? It's awesome. Love this game so much. Free roam, please. A suggestion for the devs. Don't give them 5 stars. Obviously something's wrong. You fuckhead. Don't waste your money. Now, Sleepy Weasel knows what he's talking about. And then also, don't waste your money. Stand by the BO3. All right. Control stuck. The stupid ass emoji. Anyway, all right. Are we still
alive? What? Yeah, we are still alive. What?
Shit. I thought we were off.
What would an open world be like in Ace Comp? Like you're in the sky.
Yeah. We're gonna see how far I can fucking take this goddamn plane.
I'm going east for the next 3 hours.
Yep. Let's see what happens, boys. Fucking hopefully I don't die.
Lord.
All right. You can find me if you've made it this far on this podcast. You can find me on Boy Meets Girl Meets Boy Meets World with my fiance Tanya. We just finished season 1 of Boy Meets World, and we are starting season 2 next week. We did a drinking / trivia episode as a season finale, so that'll post next week. I think that's fun, but I don't remember completely. So I'll find out for sure when I edit it. I might be like, never mind, don't go listen. I just remember Tanya getting very excited about Boy Meets World. while drinking.
Excellent.
But otherwise, you can find me on the PlayStation Broadcast, and you can find me here, and you can find me on Twitter if you want. I don't tweet much, so here we are. Thank you for joining us. This has been Third Wheel Arcade. I almost said Boy Meets Girl Meets Boy Meets World. I don't even know anymore. Episode 15 / time to get Dan dinner.
Yep. Chinese food.